Welcome to Grow Her Wings, a podcast by the Malou Project, a 501c3 based in Jacksonville, Florida, with a mission to connect girls to aviation. We are your hosts, Jen and Carrie, and we invite you to join us as we meet new people, talk to old friends, and learn new lessons on the path to inspire more of us to grow our wings.
So really what we wanted to do today, is just bring up what you guys are planning and showcase what you guys are doing in March, because it's cool. And to be able to put it out, maybe do a little bit on our side, non-military advertising, and put it through our little channels of people that we know would be interested, and at least let them know what's going on. So that's really what we want to focus on today.
So I'll start off and kind of let you guys show, or the problem that I kind of handed to Jess, and then I'll hand it over to Jess, because she's, for about 6 months now, has been developing this and kind of putting it together.
Good.
And so
that sounds like a good flow.
The kind of problem set that we had as we were doing the tough conversations, some of those things that were happening at a much higher level and better last summer, is we wanted something that was a little more further reaching, a little more tangible. So the tough conversations were important, but folks were, as we talked about diversity in the Air Force, we talked about some of the issues we had in the Air Force and talked about how to work through that. We wanted something tangible, and there was some level of let's do something. And, before the Air Force diversity report came out, for both you guys who've been in operations, you know that the assessments, the problem is real in operations, is a very white male dominated piece in the Air Force. And I didn't need the assessment report to tell me that. I knew that, my whole career. And although it has gotten better, it's still a long way from where we want it to be. And so what I knew we had role models in this group and in this wing. We had a ton of role models and had a bunch of cool stuff. 12-year-old Russ Cook would have loved to go walk on a C-130 and see a helicopter and get in a sim. And we had VR and all these great things. So how do I connect these role models and this cool stuff to help inspire a next generation of aviators in general, and then get at some of our underrepresented groups? So that was kind of all I had. And then I'd handed it to a couple of people, and it never got off the ground. And then I handed it over to Jess, and I said, hey, go find us something to be part of that we can connect these assets and resources to something real. And then I'll hand it over to Jess and let her talk about what she was able to do.
Before we have Jessica speak, our audience, when they tune in, might want to know who we're speaking to.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's that professional podcasting, you guys. Get it down.
Yeah, so Jen and I were super excited that you agreed to do this, by the way. And
it took some convincing. I really wanted Jess to do it. I was happy to see Jess do it. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Bones Cook. I'm a 347th Rescue Group Commander out at Moody Air Force Base. In the rescue group, we have HC-130s, H-860s, Guardian Angels, and support assets that do global personnel recovery. And it is a very high deployment rate. And I know Carrie and Jen are very well versed in what we do in rescue, and both being alum from this rescue group. So with that, I'll hand it over to Jess.
I gotta introduce myself too.
Yes, please.
I'm Lieutenant Jess Alcaraz. I'm an intel officer. I've been in rescue for like a year and a half now. Most of my experience is with the Guardian Angels, so not even really on the aircraft side of things, just through a deployment. But when Colonel Cook first asked me to do this, I thought, what? Like, I'm not an aviator. Like, why do you want me to do this? I'm just intel. But I realized that, one, it's important for women to empower women. And if we can have this opportunity to get young girls involved in a career field they may not otherwise be involved in, that's huge. And also, it doesn't just benefit girls or minorities. This having diversity benefits organizations. I mean, we talked about this career field being dominated by white males. That's what, like 30% of the US population. You're leaving a huge pool of talent just untapped. So if we can bring in more minorities, more women, I mean, that's going to benefit everybody. So what I really wanted to do was look around and see how we could tie into other events going on in the world for women in aviation. And March 8th through the 13th, which is going to be Moody Women in Aviation Week, is also Women of Aviation Worldwide Week. And so there are hundreds of people, thousands of people participating in this week across the world doing different events. And we really wanted to tie into that. So we're going to kick it off on March 8th, which is the anniversary of the first female pilot license in the world, which was back in like 1910, 111 years ago, and we're still having this problem.
Look at you, Jess. Look at you doing your intel research.
Oh, I know.
Awesome.
I did PowerPoint too.
See, and that's why when usually we hear someone say, why me? I'm just Intel. No one is ever just anything.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 former OSS commanders here looking at a young lieutenant who I heard a rumor that your call sign's busy.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything like that.
No?
Yeah, so when we started this, she also just finished doing the HH60 whiskey unveiling ceremony, which was a big deal. It was a big deal for the community. Chief Bass came out, and we had a great. I know Jess talked to her. I had a great opportunity to talk to her, which was really amazing, and about 15 minutes of my life that I enjoyed immensely talking to her. So she was doing that, and Moody Women in Aviation Week, which is all within about 45 days of each other. So it got to a point to where she was too busy to answer any of my questions. She was always on the phone. So I'd say, where's Jess? Like, she's busy. And so it kind of stuck, man. Jess is now busy.
Awesome.
She apparently can do just about anything.
Yeah, that's you guys, and you've been in these seats too. One of the cool things about being here is seeing all the great officers that are way better than you were when you were an officer. When I was Jess's age, I was pretty useless. I could walk to the jet without falling over, and that would about round me out. So there's no way I'd have been put. And you, Jen, you were there. You remember. So there's no way I'd have been put in charge of these type of things. I wouldn't have been as effective as they are. But yeah, to watch Jess do these 2 events especially have been pretty neat. And you just heard her passion for it and everything. It was hard to find the right person for it, but she's absolutely crushed it. And she mentioned the other day, she's a lieutenant leading a lot of higher ranking folks. And it's a great opportunity to see how leadership's not rank based and what you can do. And her vision, this has been her vision. All I said was go find us something that we can do. I'll give you whatever we can get. And then her plan on this has been neat. And it's not just the rescue group, the whole base has bought in on this. And so the 23rd Fighter Group, she briefed the wing commander, and the support is there. And everyone's pretty excited about it.
You're so like that. You just said the leadership is not rank based, and it's also not gender based. You know, it's all about when you realize and recognize that you have a vision and you know how you can get a group of people to that vision. It's about how you do that in an iterative way or whatever inspiring way, however you achieve it. But that's leadership.
What's great is Jess is learning early the importance of mentoring both up and down the chain of command. And so I always challenge people, like, if you don't have a mentor that's half your age, you might be missing something. So I want to thank Jess because I had the pleasure of interviewing with her earlier this week, and she's bright. I'm sure you recognize that as soon as you brought her up to your staff. So you're doing a great job, Jess, and I'm great that you're getting this message out there, that you're putting together this event to help showcase all of these great things that you guys have out there at Moody and reaching out, like you said, that next generation.
And Carrie, we should take this moment though and talk about what we were just talking about, how when we were lieutenants looking up at our commanders and thinking, wow, they got it all put together.
Then you become the commanders and you realize.
Wait, Carrie, so yes, what's your impression of Colonel Cook?
Every day I think about, like, how will I ever get to be where he's at? I feel like such a degenerate half the time. Like I can't make the decisions in the same way he can. And he does seem really put together. And yeah,
right.
It's just like,
but when we get to those seats, and Russ, you could probably confirm or deny this, and I'm not trying to like to steal any of your authority or anything, but at the same time, like sitting in that seat, you don't necessarily have all the answers.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time looking for recruiting, looking for the right folks to do the right jobs, right? And so if you put the right people in the right position, this doesn't happen without Jess, right? And that's it. And it's really that simple. And so most of what I do is just putting the right people in the right position and trying to give some bit of a vector and then accepting wherever they go with it. If you can find people who are passionate about it, they're going to be good about it at whatever they do. And that's true for everything, not specific to this event. As you guys know, I'm an expert in nothing anymore. I'm hanging on to the 60 by the stab. They let me fly the HC-130, which is very much like letting a child walk onto the flight deck. And I appreciate all that. But at the end of the day, I am far from being an expert in anything. So when you have the right people in the right positions, it's easy just to kind of sit back and really all I do is provide resources and authorities. So I channel resources that I can, and I give them the authority that they need or support that they need. But very little is produced or decided upon by me. It's mostly just agreeing with what other people say.
But you made a very good point there. You give them direction and let them go with it. So you found someone that has a passion because you know you're picking the right people. So,
and I think that's important for girls to hear, especially coming up and kind of entering this world. And I think that we put out, or not we, but there is a narrative out there that it's scary for girls to be in these boardrooms, and it isn't if you have the right mindset. If you recognize that you've been put in that place because you were selected to be there, you belong, and it's not about proving it. It's that you belong, and you're expected to show up. So it's not anymore. I really hate that narrative that it's like, we have to prove something. It's not that any longer, because there are leaders like Colonel Cook that are out there that want our talent, need our talent. So you got to show up. And Jess, you can confirm or deny how you feel about that. Totally.
No, yeah, he's been really great.
One of the things that I appreciate though, Jeff.
How close is he? Just on the other side of the wall? Is he flashing?
25 feet away. 25 feet away. We have to, in order to take our mask off, we have to be in rooms by ourselves with the doors closed. Yep. So we are within DOD policy to do this. We decided the mask on approach wouldn't work. Yeah, she's 25 feet over there. We're on the same Wi-Fi.
That's awesome. So can't be flashing signs to say yes.
No, yeah, we did have a quick discussion right beforehand, just to sync up, but no. One of the other things, and I'll tell you guys, part of it is because I know both you guys. Jen, I don't know if you remember this. You were actually at my 21st birthday party at the academy. And I won't say how many years ago that was, but that was more than one. And then Carrie, of course, you were my when the Milieu Project started working with us, and I was talking to Jess about you. I said, "Hey, Carrie Worth's my partner in crime. When I came in as an OSS commander and wanted to go do whatever I wanted to do, Carrie and I linked up pretty quick, and we both just did whatever we wanted to do together, and we had strength in numbers." Yep. But a lot of what we are, and as we've learned stuff, you guys, I mean, Jen, there were not a lot of female pilots in the 60 community when you came along. Everybody kind of knew by name, and same for the HC-130 community. It's better. And if you walk around the squadrons, you'll see it's better, but it's still a very, very small number. But a lot of the issues I've been able to understand have come from you guys, and discussions that we've had, behind closed doors, and what the impacts have been with both you guys, as impacted me and how I see things, and where I understand problems and opportunities more than anything else. Really, opportunities are. And so I did want to kind of mention that and thank you guys for how much you guys have influenced me and how I see things across the board and your leadership there.
Aw, thanks. And
I miss my partner in crime, Carrie. I mention you all the time. You can't help but mention your time as a squadron commander. It
was really great to be able to pick up the phone and make those phone calls, because often we talk about it when you're sitting around the table going, who put us in charge? So when you're able to have those phone calls of, this is a great idea. bounce it off each other, go, yeah, let's move forward. Let's go do this and see who we can get to come along. And then finding, oh, people are coming along, probably because they're like, oh, that wish I'd come up with that idea. So I miss having you as that sounding board of
Either, Carrie, they're either following you because they're inspired, or they're just morbid curiosity. That's what I.
hey, either way, you're gonna get
following
your vision. You're gonna get people.
Carrie, one of the great things about Carrie, she was fearless as a commander. And that's not a norm across the Air Force. As much as we'd like it to be, it's just not a norm. Folks are always concerned about missteps, really for personal reasons, I say, more than anything else, or career reasons, those type of things. So Carrie was fearless. So that was an easy partner. And we were the only 2 rescue OSSs in the world.
In the Air Force.
Yeah, so whatever we said went. As long as we both said it, we were good to go.
As long as we were lockstep.
Yeah,
I know
we were.
My boss used to get a kick out of me going, yeah, Lieutenant Colonel Cook and I had this discussion. They're like, oh boy. They've
my name's not a good way to start. Starting that was not the way to start with.
I think it more got the 2 rescue OSS people linked up.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
Can't stop them now. There's strength, like you said, there's strength in numbers. You've got to go out and find those people that aren't going to command afraid, that are going to move forward and make things better and make those decisions. But you still need somebody to be that voice on your shoulder to go,
Yeah. I think of myself as like a running back. Like, I'm just going to run. I'm just waiting for somebody to tackle me. Like, I'm just going to run at it, and just, you got to tackle me if you're going to stop. Let me stop.
If you remember, Jen, you had a great discussion with another former rescue commander, Joe Barnard, and he had made the comment of, be the type of leader, or be the type of follower, be the type of person where your leader has to pull back at the reins a little bit, because they pointed you in direction, you're going with it, so they're going to keep letting you go. So
yeah.
So be the type of leader that allows that person to have that loose rein.
Yeah.
For a while, and see where, because you might get smarter watching someone like the lieutenant here moving forward and uncovering things. Go, I never thought of that.
Yeah, it just is so wildly humble. This idea, it was pretty impressive from the start. And what's also I thought was really good about this is when we sat down and talked about earlier, I was like, let's not let COVID be an excuse to not do this, because we knew we wanted to connect with,
Nice.
The tough part is getting that audience that we want to reach out, that youth group. I think we define it 8 to 22, somewhere's in there, and connecting them here. And then COVID puts this whole other layer of difficulty on it. And so from the beginning, Jess took that as a challenge and went around it with the virtual piece of it, which was going to have some sort of a lasting legacy and how it connects to folks.
Right.
And then the live portion, which is an outdoor event. And we got she has a very structured logistics chain on how we'll get folks through there and everything. And those are the things that were really impressive me. I did not want COVID to be another excuse on why we couldn't connect or why we couldn't, because that just seems to be, right now, at times, it seems to be an excuse for not doing the things that we need to do, as opposed to being a little more creative. And she ran right around that obstacle pretty impressively.
So Jess, can you tell us a little bit more about what is going to be at the event? Like what people could expect if they were to attend, and how they can attend?
Yeah, absolutely. So like Colonel Cook said, we're going to do mostly virtual things for the first 3 or 4 days. We're going to be pushing all of our virtual events through the Moody Air Force Base Facebook page, because they kind of already have a little bit of a base, and it's something that's going to be around forever so that our content can stay out there. But we're going to start off by doing some educational posts, kind of creating awareness about why we're doing this in the first place, because some people may just not know. I mean, men look around, they see other men, and it's not weird that there aren't other women there. So we want to talk about the statistics, what they are, why they suck, and how we can make it better. But I think the bigger things that we're going to do are interviews with a lot of female aviators and other minority aviators to really try to get females to be able to look at these people in aviation and see someone who looks like them and may even share their story, so that then they can realize, whether consciously or unconsciously, like, I can do this too. And then also we want to have these women address specific concerns that women may have when they're deciding whether to join aviation or get out of aviation, like that work family life balance or challenges they face in their career, workplace culture, like the perception or existence of a good old boy network, or just issues with confidence. A lot of different things that women may ask when they're talking about maybe joining aviation. We're also going to have a live panel on Saturday the 13th, trying to get some great speakers, lots of different ranks, different jobs, broadcast that through the Facebook page, allow our virtual listeners to be able to ask questions themselves too.
Yeah, like and Carrie can probably talk about this just a little bit, but like the change in the hair regs is a big difference. It makes a big
Yes.
we don't even realize are prohibitive to people, and they're thinking about them. So hopefully you will get questions like that like, what about XYZ that, you know, people like Carrie and I we just lived with, but you know, the generation behind us might be like, well, I don't want to do that. And is it really necessary to do that any longer? We got to make those things really kind of.
Just because something's always been that way doesn't mean it needs to stay that way.
That's right. It's awesome. So excited. I'm so excited to see what comes out of this and how, you know, it is marketed and how it is received. Super excited about just being a part of it and being able to support you and Moody and like our hearts, right? Like Moody Air Force Base.
I know. I know. In fact, I wanted to point out to Jess that the globe behind me is actually my retirement gift from my Intel shop in the OSS. So I'm showcasing that just for you today. It's got an arrow on it for every single place Rescue had Intel deployed to in the 2 years I was a squadron commander. And some of those were Colonel Cook's guys too. So
yeah, they didn't get me anything, just for the record. I didn't get any gifts from my Intel shop.
He didn't retire.
That's true. Fair enough.
Sorry.
I mean, they gave me a nice going away gift. It was a cube with the shredded paper in it. And the joke was that it was all the briefings they'd ever given me.
They
should have been a smaller cube. But no, it's good. So I'm very appreciative of everything that the lieutenant has been putting together. You've had a great vision for it.
We're appreciative of you guys. Obviously, when she kind of set that, the first time she mentioned, I was like, hey, I got some folks for you that can help us. And both of you guys have been helpful. And Carrie, I know you spent a lot of time working with Jess and just the brainstorming early on. The nice thing is we actually started this long enough ago that we had time to think through it and come up with a good plan. And you know, now it's an execution, Jess is realizing all the hard work that she's got to get there. But that early brainstorming and connecting us with other players and folks who are important and stuff, and the paneling and all those type of things was absolutely critical. And I appreciate you guys doing that. And I appreciate you guys doing the project. I'm a fan of Grow Her Wings. I've listened to almost all the podcasts now. A large part of that's because I know you guys, and I love hearing you guys talk. But that's been, you know, Jess will tell you when I'm working on OPRs, I've usually got your podcast going in there. I had it going this morning, listening to it and everything. I realized I wasn't a subscriber, so I fixed that today. But, you guys
share it with your friends. Yes.
You guys' leadership here it's been huge for us, and we're really thankful. And I know both you guys have more than full-time jobs, and so to do this project on the side and then help us, it's remarkable. So thank you for that.
It's our passion. Absolutely. Thanks for the plug there. Yeah. So if you do like this podcast, please share it, hit that subscribe button, and help us out, get our message out. Thanks so much for joining.
And be looking at the Moody Air Force Base Facebook page. We'll provide links and other information on it for the week of March 8th to the 13th. Share it with your friends. You don't have to be local to Moody Air Force Base in Valdosta, Georgia to participate in all of the virtual events. So check it out, share it with friends, and learn more opportunities in aviation.